Put on the brand new Slides of Christ and headed down to PB for another Shibby adventure. Brought out this Craigslist Ellington 9.6 to try out a little 2+1 setup. And right off the first drop, I could tell that this board was a speed demon. This board had no problem clearing sections and making its way down the line as long as there was a line. The high tide being a little over 5 feet was making things close out a little early down here in PB. Still a fun little dawn patrol session, cruising this fast board in these high tide Pacific Beach waves. After getting closed out a few more times, we decided to head a little bit north. A couple exits up the 5 freeway, you'll find yourself in La Jolla. I decided to stick it out on the Ellington to speed my way across these carvy faces to kickstart the session. A little change of adding 2 fins really ups the aggression in my mid-high performance longboarding. It's also important to point out that the water is now into the 60s and we are now officially trunking it for the rest of the year. Some surfers really get their kicks out of being rubber people all year long. Others of us are just too lazy to change all the time. At around 9 o'clock, delivery boy Barry showed up with a pizza.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you.
After a quick snack and a couple warm-up stretches, we had Barry out in the water on the 9.2, cruising his way, digging for some pearls. I made the switch to my single-fin Bronner 9.3 lowrider and got caught up in the curl. The slower action of the single-fin longboard keeps you in the critical section of the wave. It's a little different feeling than the icy glide of the 2+1. It's still plenty of fun and keeps you right on your toes. After surviving a fun ripping right like this, it's always proper to throw up some shakas for the homies viewing at home. With a bit of an intense paddle out, Barry had himself chilling on the inside, catching some fun little rippers. Barry's camera angles always slowly change to include more of his ankles and feet. He's heading off on a new business venture, onlyfeet.com. I'm working on a website as well. I'm going to title it headslams.com. Clips like this are slowly motivating me to lose some weight and become more flexible. Be nice to get more than just my calves in a barrel for once. It's a little difficult to find yourself a left in La Jolla. Oftentimes you have to take off from a riptide. But in these times where everything comes together, I'm super appreciative and fully stoked on these fun lefts. Barry with some weird wobbly inside chop. Right into the ankle-deep sand. A lot of attempts at the left wind up turning out like this. But after you fought the current enough and everything comes together, you can pull in, make the drop, and and successfully carve your way across the face, ahead of the curl, into some sick, stoky turns. Barry with a stand-up takeoff is trying to keep things spicy with a quick wardrobe malfunction and mid-wave adjustment. Speaking of style, here's Nudie showing up with a tiny hat, taking off into some whitewash on the Ellington, laying it down, cruising to shore. After all that craziness, we had to make our way down to the Melts, chill out and have some delicious cheese sandwiches. No pickles for me, please. Then I headed off to spot number 3 in Oceanside, California, where I was met in the lineup by a couple aerobatic planes. Conditions are really choppy and rough with plenty of current to go around, making these waves pretty hard to catch and pretty hard to be in the right spot. But when you were in the right spot, it was totally worth it. When you're in the wrong spot, it's still a little bit of fun. I eventually made my way out of the water and followed the planes to the Top Gun house, which was complete with the motorcycle from the movie. The ideal vehicle for chasing down your lady when she critiques your combat maneuvers. After figuring out that the love scenes were shot in the kitchen, we decided to order some apple pies and hang around on the porch overlooking the ocean. Every surf trip is an adventure.